Okay, the movement is out of the cleaner, and so we're ready to put this thing back together. I like using a piece of plumbing pipe to hold the movement in. This is two different sizes, and most movements will fit on either one side or the other. You can use a bowl. You can use a roll of masking tape. This is just what I like to use. I'm going to start with the time side of the movement. You want to inspect all the parts. Again, I got the ratchet wheel working properly. You want to make sure that this gear here is not broken. If it's broken, it's not going to work properly. I have glued them before and they seem to hold, but put that down first, which is the great wheel, and then I'm looking for my second wheel. There it is. The second wheel you put down into its hole, and then the third wheel, which is the escape wheel, and all the pinions would line up with the teeth on the bigger gears. The great wheel on the strike side. This wheel right here on the strike side goes next. And trying to do all this on camera is the fun part. Then you have your third wheel with the third wheel with a warning pen. It goes down. And then your fly wheel goes down. And then you have this piece right here, which is called the 2-arm bell with crank lever. It goes down, and when it goes down, you want to make sure that the cuckoo is would be sticking out, because this arm right here goes in the notch on this lever, but it also goes behind or in front of, toward me, the tab that's on the cuckoo bird. And you got your birds with crutch assembly. and sliding the back plate. Let's try this again. Birchwood's crutch assembly fell down on me. Sliding the crutch assembly up in its hole and lining up in position. Now, you're not too worried about everything quite right yet. What you're worried about is trying to get the two great wheels in position. But as long as you can start a nut, and you don't want to force them down, but you want to start a nut on any post. And I try to work with the time side first. Get the nut started on the post, and then working the great wheel on up, things should fall into place. The minute wheel with center arbor has to be in the right position first also. The 2-arm crank arm came out on me. I'm trying to do this on camera, and I'm blind, so I'm not as young as what I used to be. So I'm trying to do this so y'all can see it. Happening, and it's too far away from me to see. Well, once you get all your nuts started, you just walk your way around the movement. And like I said, I work on the time side first. Get the all the wheels in the pivot holes. And the more that you can get them in the pivot holes, the more you can close up the nuts. And don't forget about the birch and crutch assembly going into its pivot holes. So right now as you can see, I don't have the grate wheel in place. But right now, as you can see, I have the time side in position. So now I have to work on the strike side. And typically this lever right here is the lever that creates the most problem. That lever and the second wheel. Once you get the second wheel in its position, everything else pretty well lines up. It's in position. And so the third wheel, it's in position, and everything else just snapped into position. But you see what I did wrong here. This arm that I was telling you about, it's on the inside of this lever here, where it needs to be on the outside. But one thing you can do to remedy this without taking it all back apart is take a screwdriver and lift up this arm here. Now you can position that tab behind this shaft on this 2 crank arm. And when you got it positioned behind that shaft, you just close it into position and then take a pair of pliers and close up this tab. You don't want to tighten it too tight. It has to be loose enough that when it's released, that it moves back and forth. But if it's too loose, it will come out of the indentation on this brass notch. So there's typically wear where it needs to go. So don't make it too tight and don't make it too loose. So the strike side is in position and the time side is in position. So now we have to put these other levers in place. You have your lift lock lever and your rack stop lever. Put the rack stop lever into its position. And remember, I told you there was E-clips that hold this on. Because these E-clips are so tiny, I'm probably going to have to do this off camera to put them on. So stand by. Okay, I got the E-clips on. But before we put the anything else on, we need to go ahead and oil the pivots. And you use the clock oil that you use. I like using synthetic motor oil myself, and all it takes is just a drop of oil in each pivot. If it gets out on the movement, you got too much, wipe it off. I have a flat piece, I have a wire with a flat piece on the wire, and I dip it into my oil. It grabs just enough oil to put a drop of oil into the pivots, and you want to do that on both the front side of the movement and the back side of the movement. And I also like putting oil into where the ratchets are. Just a drop of oil is all it takes. And you're also supposed to put a drop of oil onto the verge with crutch assembly to where it hits the teeth, and then you would rotate it around to lubricate all the teeth. If you put too much oil on, your movement is going to collect a lot of dirt. Too much oil is bad for it. So again, if it comes out of the sinkhole of the pivots, and some clocks don't have sinkholes in the pivots. If it comes out of the sinkholes in the pivots, if it comes onto the case, just take a rag and wipe it off.